My name is Selia Ambriz. I was born on November 22nd, 1932. I was born in Chicago. My parents were named Felix Quiroz, Elena Rodriguez Quiroz, and they were born, my dad was born in Leon, and my mother was born in Zamora, Michoacan. And they came to the United States where my dad was working. So he was here before, and he worked at the Sherwin-Williams Company. And my mom stood home and took care of the babies. We were going to school, kindergarten at Pullman School, where I attended till 8th grade. What I remember from Pullman School was I was the only Hispanic there. And I went from kindergarten to 8th grade there. So Pullman School, I remember that we used to stand in the stairway at Christmas time and sing carols. That's what I remember then. After that, I went to Fanger High School for my freshman year until my senior year when I graduated. And then right after that, I went to work for Sherwin-Williams. Very dismal and very poor, because we didn't have heat. We had to heat the apartment up, mostly the living room, with a potbelly stove. And then the bathrooms were outside, and it was sort of hard in the winter time because it would get cold there. And then just cold water. We all slept in one bed, the girls, and the boys slept in another bed, but in the same bedroom. Finances were very, very low. I mean, Dad was the only one working, and he didn't make that much. My older sister was called Helen, then I came next, and then Esther, and then Alfonso, Ramon, and Mary. We were all very happy because, that was our life, so we just went along, never thinking we were poor, but we were poor, but never feeling it. Well, in those days, there wasn't a possibility of me going to college because there was no money. So I just figured I'd go to work and maybe do good at my job. That's about all I could expect, or I expected. For Sherwin-Williams in the billing department, I wrote up bills. The trucks would deliver paint to different parts, and they would give us the invoice, and we would add it up. That's what I would do there, add up their bills. It was nice. It was a clean job. It was an easy job, and the people there were very nice. So I got to meet a couple of friends there. I met Ralph at Calumet Beach. We went there, the three of us, my sister Esther and my friend Margie and I. And they were a couple of boys there, and they knew Margie. So that's how we got to know who they were. I must have been, I was already working, so must have been about 20. He was very young. In fact, he was 2 years younger than I was. So when we got married, he was barely 18, because when we got married, he was 17. And the following day, after we got married, he became 18, because that was his birthday. Well, it wasn't too young for him, but for me, it was. I mean, I had no experience dating or anything like that until I met him, and it was fast. Too fast, I think. We didn't know what we were doing, really. 1954. We got married at City Hall. I moved from there, got married, moved to Blue Island right away with his mother. Yeah, we lived there for quite a while. It's Ralphie, Richard, Nina. First of all, I just had the three. And when they grew up, when Nina was 10, I had Margaret and Vicky. So I just had three to begin with, and then the two afterwards. Well, when we just had the three, I thought that was it. But then 10 years later, Margaret was born, and she's been a jewel to me. Her and Vicky, and all my kids have been good to me. The house that we moved into was really dilapidated, needed fixing, and that's what Ralph did most of the time, knocking down walls and fixing this and that. And that's what I remember about Orchard Street. When we finally got it to where it was nice, we sold it and moved to Michigan.
Now, if you could go back to Selia Quiroz on Langley before she got married, before meeting Uncle Ralph, and give her advice, what do you think you would say to her?
I would say to her, see the world a little bit first, before getting married or having that responsibility. And maybe getting a little bit more schooling. Necessarily not college, but maybe some business college or something. That would have been nice.
In 100 years, when people remember Selia Quiroz Ambriz, what do you want them to remember?
That I was a good person, that I was a caring person, that I sort of just lived for my family, which came first all the time. And I never was a flighty woman. I didn't have a lot of girlfriends or anything like that, but I stayed with my family and took care of my family quite a bit. I've always been truthful and honest. I tried to be a good person. That's what mainly. And I try to be good to my family, all of them. To be a caring parent, to love your children, take good care of them, and teach them manners, and be respectful, and teach them to be smart. Because we all turned out pretty good.